Hi guys, it's Crystal with Emerson Aurora Design, and today I'm going to show you another Paint Pour Chevron tumbler that I did. Thank you for watching my channel, and enjoy. So this is a 30-ounce skinny from the Stainless Depot, and I'm going to do my Paint Pour Chevron with my fancy Mardi Gras beads. I just chose a few colors that I think go well together, and let's give this a try in one shot this time. I figured out in my last try with this that when the paint's a little thicker, it's better. So I'm going to apply my acrylic paint directly to my tumbler without mixing it with water or Floetrol or anything like that. I'm just applying a straight line, well, it's not really straight, applying a line of the acrylic paint, leaving about a ½ inch space in between each section of color. This was not calculated. I was trying to decide if this was going to work. And this time I chose not to use white as an accent color to delineate the colors. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit so it isn't exactly like watching paint dry. I didn't really think about the order that I put my colors in. I just did it the way that I thought would look nice, and I really like the way that this turned out. So putting the lighter colors in the center of the tumbler really worked out well in my favor. You'll see here in just a minute as I start to apply my beads. So I'm going to hold my Mardi Gras beads horizontally to this tumbler and just make a zigzag motion. Don't hold your beads too tight because it will actually pull the beads up above the paint and it will not make a contact with that paint. So just go slow with this. Take your time. I am trying to fill in those white areas. And I'm really liking what I see, and I'm hoping that I don't mess this up as this goes. I don't want my paint to mix too much because I want to be able to show the distinctive chevron pattern. You could see there at the top of the tumbler, there's a little bit more white, so I'm kind of angling my beads more towards that area so I don't mix the rest of the tumbler, if that makes sense. It's hard to tell right there, but it ended up working fine. There's still a couple little areas of white that on the edges that I'm fine with. I'll go in and kind of pad in some colors with my paintbrush or my finger. There's a close-up. I'm just picking up some of the paint that has fallen to my mat below and just gently tapping it in the areas that there were some white spots along the edge. Don't rub your hand around, it'll mess up your chevron pattern. But you can see there, it's hard to tell at the top of the screen. I am taking that purple and I'm actually painting the bottom of the tumbler with the purple. And here she is all dried. I have her on my turner and I want to add some bling to my epoxy. I have this highly reflective nail glitter that I purchased on Amazon. I can leave that in the description box below. To add a little bit of bling bling to my tumbler without taking away from my chevron pattern. I'm just going to take a small amount of this blue and a small amount of the green and add it directly to my tumbler. My epoxy, excuse me. And you may notice that my epoxy is slightly tinted blue. I did this for a reason. It is not going to show blue on my tumbler. However, my last little dregs of this epoxy that I'm using, which is a quick set epoxy, had a bit of a yellow tint to it. So counteract that yellow tinting of the epoxy when it sits for a long period of time, I just added a tiny little dab of blue alcohol ink to it to offset any yellowing that may appear. When you put this small amount on your tumbler, you do not see that blue. It just looks like a clear epoxy. So that's a little helpful hint if your epoxy is yellowing in the bottle. So I'm just going to apply this evenly to my tumbler. I'm not adding a huge amount. I believe I'm using about 20 mLs here and spreading that evenly. I know it's hard to see that reflective glitter on the tumbler at this angle, but I'll get a close-up here in just a minute and you'll see how pretty and sparkling it is. I really love this chevron pattern with the lighter colors in the center. I think it turned out really pretty, and I think it is almost like a sweater pattern. Let me know if you guys have tried this technique. I'd love to see pictures of yours. It's just a fun one, and it's so satisfying. Here's a close-up of that really pretty bling that I put into my epoxy, and you can see how much it just adds to the design of the tumbler. I have to add bling to my tumblers. So let that cure fully. I added another layer of epoxy to this. It only took 2 layers to cover that paint. And look how pretty and satisfying this is. This particular tumbler had a lid, a stainless lid that I did paint and put the bling on also. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something new. Give this a try. It is so much fun, and if you mess up, you can just wipe the paint off and start over again, which you would know if you saw my last Chevron Paint tumbler. I'll link that at the end of the video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'd love to have you consider subscribing to see the rest of my videos. If you're returning, thank you so much for watching again. Leave me a comment or question below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Happy crafting, everyone.